And welcome back to the Hotline. We are talking Lewis Hamilton and those qualifying woes. Have Ferrari finally had that breakthrough? Has Lewis Hamilton had that breakthrough? Is Hamilton and qualifying going to be spectacular again next year? So here we go. Ferrari solved. This is from Planet F1. Ferrari have apparently solved Lewis's qualifying woes. Anyway, with a Project 677 breakthrough report. So Hamilton's qualifying issues, let's say, they could be solved for this season, F1 2025, after Ferrari reportedly made a breakthrough with their new Project 677 car. Hamilton, as you know, is gearing up for his first season with Ferrari after announcing it last year in February time, having announced that it is going to be a multi-year contract. Now, Ferrari 677 is this project that they've announced for their new car. The seven-time world champion, as you know, he's going to partner Charles Leclerc, who is widely regarded as one of the fastest drivers on the grid. Now, despite going back to winning ways in Great Britain, one of the best races of the year at Silverstone, and Belgium may be a bit lucky, but possibly got screwed over with the strategy, but he still won Belgium because George Russell had a bit of a light car. 2024 proved, in spite of that, or despite that, one of the most challenging years for the seven-time champion. Hamilton was heavily beaten by George Russell in the inter-team battle with Mercedes, both, I think, with the amount of points and particularly qualifying. Hamilton, he's got the most poles ever. So it prompted Hamilton, who celebrated his 40th birthday earlier this week, to admit at the penultimate race of the guitar that he is not fast anymore. That confession led to a number of pundits, sadly. Yes, they all jumped on the bandwagon. Eddie Jordan, for example, urging Ferrari to back out of its deal with Hamilton and retain Carlos Sainz, who at that point was going to go to Williams. Hamilton stands as the most successful qualifying driver in history currently, with a total of 104 pole positions, putting him 36 ahead of second place man Michael Schumacher. The caveat being there were less races when Michael Schumacher was there. Runs there 24 now. Hamilton was doing it. There were a bit more races. But anyway, I digress. That's just in the interest of fairness. I like both, both drivers are amazing. The nearest active driver to Hamilton is Max Verstappen. The Red Bull driver and reigning four-time world champion has 40 poles in total. Now, with Mercedes struggling to adapt these ground effect regulations, Hamilton's been restricted to a single pole position at Hungary in the last 3 years. Terrible. So the development of this Ferrari, this codenamed again, 677, I'm sure, if anyone in the comments knows why, let me know, because I'm not 100% sure. But it's being led by French engineer Loic Serra, who worked closely with Hamilton during his success at Mercedes. Serra, who started work as Ferrari's chassis technical director in October, is also believed to have shared Hamilton's doubts over this zero-pod car concept, pursued by Mercedes by the then technical director Mike Elliott across 22 and 23, and with driver and engineer thought to be on the same wavelength. And it has emerged that Serra could hold the key to unlocking Hamilton's qualifying pace, with Ferrari aiming to improve their one-lap performance for F1 2025. It was very good in 23 towards the end. They got pole position. They were eating their tyres. Last year, maybe not that fast in qualifying as they wanted to be, but they weren't eating their tyres. Hopefully they come to a happy medium, but a report at the Italian end of motorsport.com claimed that Serra specialises in the area of vehicle dynamics, with his expertise in suspension components like torsion bars, shock absorbers, helping Ferrari achieve maximum exploitation. That would have been a big thing. The suspension, shock absorbers, etc., the rear of the car, that made Lewis Hamilton very unhappy and didn't give him confidence in those corners and coming out those corners. And it said that Serra will primarily focus on the 2026 car ahead of the major regulation change, but has immediately placed great emphasis on turning the Project 677 in what could be a title challenger. The changes implemented people are saying, alter this basic behaviour of the car, allowing Ferrari to achieve exceptional performance. So fingers crossed there. But it's not only him. Nico Hulkenberg has also come to the help of Lewis Hamilton, which is quite interesting, as we know. He did, to be fair with those comments, Hamilton backtracked on his comments later in the weekend in Qatar when he said he's kind of lost it, saying he's still got it after his qualifying struggles continued. But he's received backing from new Sauber driver Hulkenberg, who has said it's just about the timing, and I think he had a weak moment, to be honest. He said he was disappointed after what was a poor qualifying, and obviously I don't know the details from Mercedes, but he was up against George, who is very fast and a complete driver already. Kind of agree. He said he's put in some really strong performances and has good momentum. So a driver, even when you are as experienced as Lewis, it can get to you and annoy you as well. He said, we all want to challenge and beat our teammates, but you saw in Las Vegas how good Lewis is. He came from P10 to P2, and you should never discount him. He's still growing great. Thank you very much. So this was a chart made. If I can I zoom in a bit? Here. On Reddit, the link to this qualifying head-to-head between Hamilton teammates, all the way up to, though, 2012. I mean, here you can go. He just about beat Alonso. Hamilton's in the blue. Then we had Kovalainen for 2 years. Yeah, kind of destroyed Kovalainen. Jensen, Button. To be fair, Button is not a known really good qualifier. Beat Button in 10, 11, and 12. So if we go to a career, so we got up to 12. In terms of his teammates, 2013 it was Rosberg, and Lewis Hamilton just about beat Rosberg on the points, even on the races. Just beat Rosberg in qualifying. Now, I wouldn't class Rosberg as an absolute qualifying legend in like the tones of a Raikkonen, a Vettel at his peak, a Mika Hakkinen, and Ayrton Senna. In 2014, it was race start 10-4, qualifying 7-12. So in Hamilton's championship year, Rosberg out-qualified Hamilton. Did he do it again in qualifying? No, Hamilton out-qualified Rosberg in 2015, 12-7. But it was no mean a destruction, let's say. And again, Hamilton v Rosberg in 2016, it was 12-9 in Hamilton's favour. 2017, the last movement was Bottas. But even that wasn't too bad. Qualifying 9-5, it says here. I think this was not complete up until that point. Maybe I'm not too sure. Maybe. But I mean, what it does show there is I don't think Hamilton is as good as qualifying as his stats show. I just think he's just an overall really good driver. But his strong point is his race day pace. That's what everyone has said. Yes, he beat. I wouldn't say Alonso is a qualifying specialist, but he beat Alonso. But it is his race day pace, and that is the telling point. And let's not forget, he has had, for a 7-time world champion, compared to pretty much a lot of other multiple champions. I mean, I know Senna had Prost, but I think Hamilton has had arguably the most competition in his team for the longest time. Even Bottas was more competition, for example, than Sergio Perez was to Max Verstappen. So, in terms of qualifying, I don't think he's the qualifying legend that some people suggest he is. He's just one of the best ever all-round drivers. And I say all-round because he really is. If you were to give him a speciality, it is going to be that race pacer, without a shadow of a doubt. But if you made it to the end, thank you very much. Just clicking on this video and listening to a bit of me ramble is more than enough. But if you want to do a bit more, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button so you do not miss a video. And if you want to help even more, give us a like, comment below, let us know what you think. Thank you very much, stay safe, and we'll speak to you soon.